right. Hey, everyone, and welcome back. We are starting week 10 this week, and what we are starting on is a section called Taking Control of College and Life. So, some of the topics that you'll be reading about and doing some assignments on for this week have to do with financial management, budgeting, credit cards, and then some about financial aid, which also obviously have to do with our financial aid office and just in general what financial aid is about. Some of you obviously may already know how to do a budget. Some of you may already have gone through the financial aid process and you may already understand a lot of that. But usually within this week, there's at least one of the topics that you're reading about and doing assignments about that most people find valuable, because there may be someone curious about more about how financial aid works and they're not really sure, and you get a lot more information there. It could be helpful to you if you're trying to decide if you do want to maybe plan on taking out financial aid at some point to kind of help you get through the rest of college. A lot of people, at least for me, when I was in college, I had absolutely no clue how to manage a credit card. Nobody had ever taught me. And at that time when I was in college, it was a really big thing for companies to be offering these great rates and deals for credit cards for college students. And to be honest, it really put me in a bind by the time I graduated from college, because I didn't understand how credit cards worked, how interest rate works, things like that. And it ended up costing me so much more money and a lot of stress, basically because I didn't know how to manage a credit card and no one had ever shown me how to do it. And so we do kind of have a section over that you can read through, because there are probably some of you that have never had a credit card, and it's not necessarily a completely horrible bad thing to get a credit card as long as you learn how to manage it wisely, understanding how the interest rate works and all of the different variables that come with different credit cards, because they all offer different things and you have to try to find the right, credit card for you for what your needs are. And if you do know anyone that has a credit card that's really good about using it and they really understand the concepts of how you could either like pay it off every single month or how to manage it better to where it doesn't end up putting you in the hole, because it does that to a lot of people. They just kind of treat a credit card like endless money that's I'll pay it later, but then it always, builds and builds and builds. And then some people find themselves in a real pickle when they've not managed their credit cards very well. And I had to learn the hard way. So it's a good little section, but obviously if you also know people who have credit cards already and you don't, but that manage them very well, it's always good to go talk to them and get more information so you understand it better. That way you're prepared that if you decide to get a credit card at some point, there are benefits that come from it, because you can build your credit. You can essentially get your credit into a very good position that if someday you wanted to buy a home or just have a credit line available to you, such as for buying a car. If you have built credit and you've built it the right way and you've built good credit, it can be a good thing for you, but you do just have to be very careful about how you use it, how you pay for it, and all of that. So it's always good to kind of go over that information, because nobody wants to have the stress that I had when I was a first-time college student and I took out my first credit card. It was bad. It was stressful. So hopefully, most of you will get on a much better foot, and some of you may already have credit cards and do really well with it. So kudos to you if you are in a better position than I was when I was first starting out in college. So as you start out the reading, you're going to have financial management to read through. This is a quiz that is not graded, but it sets a good stage for the whole entire topic about talking about financial management. And it's basically a 10-question quiz that's trying to assess where you're at with your financial knowledge and everything like that. So please click on this and take the quiz, and then you should get some information at the end of it after you've submitted your answers. It's not graded. It's more of like a quiz kind of to start things out and to give you more information on where you're at financially minded. So click on that, take the quiz. You don't have to submit it anywhere. It's just mostly for you and to kind of get this topic going. Then you're going to read the section on the power of a budget. And then this activity, last semester, I did not develop this spreadsheet that you all will be using, but last semester, half of my students were able to use the spreadsheet very well, and then some of them weren't because it didn't work, or I guess it didn't, for some reason, either on their computer or something, it just did not. You could enter information into the spreadsheet, but it wouldn't actually update the information. So if that happens to you, what you can do is take screenshots to submit as you enter information. That's fine. And I'll show you here in just a second. But some of you may find that when you put this spreadsheet on your computer and you start entering your information about budgets, you may find that it updates the way that it's supposed to and it works fine. So just give it a try, see if it works for you. If it doesn't, I'll kind of explain what you can kind of do alternately if it does not work for you and update your spreadsheet for you. So when you click on this activity, here is the spreadsheet here that you can click on and you can save it. So it'll pull it up as another window on your computer, and I'm going to go ahead and try to open it here in just a second, just so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. For some reason on my computer, it would not update. So if I tried to enter the information and save my spreadsheet, it would never update the information as I was adding numbers into it. I have no idea why. And I am not a spreadsheet person. I'm not even going to claim that I am. So for whatever reason, it would not update, but I had students that it updated fine. But if you do get it to work, you'll basically save the spreadsheet to your computer, and then you will re-upload it with your information plugged into the spreadsheet as your assignment, how you're basically going to be submitting it to me. So if it does update, just make sure you save it with your changes, and then you would just re-upload the same spreadsheet, but with your information saved on it. So when you open this up, it's taken just a second. Here we go. It might already have some pre-information that's been put in by whoever it was that made this spreadsheet for us, but you're going to change this information and you're basing it off of information I believe I put on here from last month. Let me scroll down real quick. Yes. Okay. So since we're kind of midway in October right now, what you want to try to do for this assignment is use any information that you can find about your expenses, things that you spent money on, what your bills were from last month. So from September, because September's over with, so you might have record of pretty much all that information. Some of it may be things that's the typical bill that's every single month, like your house payment or your apartment payment or something like that. So what you're going to do on the first page of the budget spreadsheet is what your total monthly income is. So whether you have a part-time job, full-time job, maybe you don't have a job, that's okay too. You can still potentially put information on here because you could if you wanted to. So let's say if you are not working right now and maybe you live at home or something like that and you don't really have any bills or anything like that, you could potentially do this more as a hypothetical where you could say, okay, if I get the career that I plan to go into someday, let's say I'm going to be bringing home $3,000 a month. And you can kind of fill out this budget with numbers that you're basically making up. You can do that if you want to. If you are one of the people that maybe does not have monthly bills right now, live at home, don't work at the moment because your parents are helping to support you while you're in college, you can go ahead and do this kind of hypothetically. That's fine. You just need to let me know that that's what you're doing whenever you submit it. But for those of you that do have, your monthly income, whatever it is that you make, you're going to put that here, roughly what you think it is. You don't have to be exact, but just try to at least, get in the ballpark of what you normally make per month. And then this information is what should get updated as you're entering information into the following pages. So I'm just letting you be aware of that. And this is what would not update whenever I tried to put it on my computer and do it myself. I have no idea why. But for some people, it worked just fine. So when you get to the second page of this spreadsheet, you're going to see here where you can put in your income. So that's what was showing on the first page was whoever filled this out just put in a number and they put in $2,000 a month as their source of income. So whatever yours is, you're going to basically delete this out and then put in your amount. And then as you scroll down, it actually itemizes a lot of typical bills that most people, generally have. So you would put in, so for September, for example, what was the amount that your rent or your mortgage was, your electric bill, your gas bill, your cell phone bill, what you roughly think you probably spent on groceries last month, your car payment last month, if you had any auto expenses, like you had to go get something fixed on your car, oil change, whatever. If you're paying off student loans right now, how much per month are you paying on that? If you're paying off a certain amount on your credit cards every single month, how much are you paying there? And this is a basic budget that's going to really break things down for you and kind of essentially let you see towards the end what it is that you have left over every month. And it always is good to look at a chart or a sheet like this because sometimes people can make really big adjustments, cutting back on things when they really can see the bigger picture. And then it helps them save money because they can essentially start saving money by cutting back on things when they realize, I don't need to spend that much money on, this or that, going out, getting coffee, going out to eat all the time, things like that. And when people start seeing that bigger picture and seeing places that they could potentially cut back a little bit, they find that they're able to save a lot more money every year. So anyway, you see, like for entertainment, so if you went to the movies a bunch of times or whatever, vacations, things like that, that anything you'd consider entertainment, you can put there. And then they do have a section for miscellaneous. If there's other things that maybe you potentially spend money on per month or last month that wasn't listed here, you can put that amount here as well. So as you're entering numbers into this spreadsheet, it should start updating this page, as you're putting numbers in, as you're moving along here. So just letting you know that. And then the last page, page 4, is where last month, if you were able to save a certain amount of money, like if you have a savings account or a CD or something like that, that you put money into for savings, if you have a certain amount of money that you were actually able to put away and save, you can go ahead and put that here. You can put it in all together what you did for the month of September, or if you have a few different dates that you put money away in September for savings, you can split it up like that as well, whatever makes more sense to you. And then basically what you're going to find, you're going to save it after you put in all this information. And then what you should find, if it works correctly, is that all of this gets updated, and then your actual chart that's here is also going to get updated as you enter information. And then it'll also show the percentage of your income spent here. As you enter your information and save it, it should update that as well. Now, if it doesn't, go ahead and still fill out this page and take a screenshot. Fill this out, take a screenshot. Fill out this one, take a screenshot, and you can actually then go up here and rearrange this based off of the information you put on the other pages. You can manually do it yourself. I am sorry, my 2-year-old is waking up from their nap and the baby monitor is starting to get noisy. So I'm going to try to make this quick so I can go get him. But you can actually update this page, this first page, manually if it will not update automatically on your computer. So I just wanted you to be aware of that. And then you would obviously take a screenshot of this page as well after you update it manually if you have to, if it won't do it automatically for you. So then you would just basically turn in all of the screenshots that you took after you've entered all your information if you have to do it manually. If you don't, and it allows you to save it and it updates all of this information for you automatically, then you will just upload the spreadsheet with your information saved on it. So that's basically what you're turning in there. I do believe I just left this open for pretty much any kind of file upload. So depending on what you're using to upload the spreadsheet, or your if you have to do screenshot pictures, it shouldn't have any restrictions on there for you. All right, going back, I don't remember if there was one more assignment or not, so I'm going to go back just to make sure we don't have another one. Okay. Oh, the financial aid one. So after you do this creating a budget, there's the section you can read over on credit cards. And then there is a section that talks about more about financial aid and details. Go through that. If there's any links, click on them and read through there. And then you just have a reflection and discussion post. So it's going to be a discussion post where you have to answer all of the questions about financial aid on this discussion post. And that is pretty much it for this week. So just make sure you do the readings before the activities, because some of them are going to be able to help you out with like your answers and how you do that, especially this financial aid one. And if you have any questions this week, just please shoot me an email and let me know. And other than that, I will see you all next week for week 11. We are moving right along. We are almost to the finish line. So yay for that. But I will see you all next week.